12. Stand for the pledge, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Peter Somerville, Town Council.
John Dolce, Town Supervisor.
Bill Ryan, Town Attorney.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman.
Ryan Wood, Town Councilman.
Victoria Craker, Town Clerk.
And Mary Michael is absent at this point, but she'll be late. Okay, so any audience comments, please? I try to hold out.
Quick, say Mary Michael, Town Councilman.
Mary Michael Dark, Town Council. Apologies.
Okay, any audience comments? If not, I need two approvals for the February 26th meeting.
I'll move that we accept the minutes from the February 26th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll move we accept the minutes of the March 3rd special meeting for the opening of the gold grant applications.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion carried. There are no budget modifications or transfers. But I make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. As far as reports of supervisor, just a couple things. You know, on March 3rd, we had the Bow Grant applications that we opened. And the next step is to award these grants. So the process, I believe, we'll have some discussion on. The process would be where each board member, we're going to look at them. Some of us already did. We'll take our notes, discuss it, and hopefully the committee comes back with their recommendation. So hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll be able to have an open discussion and finalize. That's the most important thing that I have. You know, we did, I want to talk about the money that's available. I had said that there was $88,829.10 available, but I'm requesting that money from Community Foundation. The actual money that we could give out is $96,732.69. The $88,829 is going to be added. I'm going to request that check, which I'm going to get approval on that, and add that to $7,900 that we have in the bank already. And that's the $96,000 that we could give out. Okay, so I wanted to clarify that. I did sign the title and bond contract. I made sure that they received it. And moving forward, we've contacted the waste oil furnace company, Total Tool, and told them to move ahead with it. And the same thing with CNR overhead doors for the garage doors. Contacted them to move ahead with that. And that's what I have.
I'll make a motion we accept the supervisor's report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. The accountant, do we have his?
He gave a February year to date. You should have.
He did?
Yep.
On the bottom of the file, John.
All right, so we have that. I'll constitute that for budget versus actual, February 28th. But I'm going to move on to Bill, the town attorney.
A couple things. One,
in your packet is a resolution with respect to the creation of a type reserve fund for the highway department. Just a little bit of background is in order. There's two types of reserve funds that you can establish as a town board. One is a specific reserve fund, which, as the name indicates, specifies a particular project or piece of equipment that you need to set the reserve fund for. The other type of reserve fund is called the type reserve fund. And there's no specificity with respect to the type reserve fund. It's just for certain items that you may need done. And in this particular case, with respect to the work of the highway department, it's a type reserve fund. Although there was mention made of culverts being purchased, right? Yeah. It could be used for other items in the future. The distinction in name only is one thing. The other point that you need to consider, that needs to be addressed and mentioned, is the fact that with a specific reserve fund, upon creation of the reserve fund, it's subject to a permissive referendum, which is not a big deal. However, with the type reserve fund, resolution, the money for the culverts or whatever you need to do. But that resolution is subject to a permissive referendum. And every time you expend money from the reserve fund, the type reserve fund, it's subject to a permissive referendum. That's the significance of two types of funds. The other point is under the general municipal law, for highway reserve funds, when you establish them, you need the consent of the highway superintendent, which I have here for Jason to sign. And you also need the consent of the county highway superintendent, which I have here. So the resolutions in your packet, on the consents, Jason, I put 20,000.
That was
Yeah.
budgeted.
Yeah. And if the board wants to make it more, have at it. That's up to you. But we're ready to
Bill,
go.
may I ask a question?
You can ask me whatever you want.
Next year, we're gonna add,
I'm sorry, the permissive referendum. So if we in the future have a large culvert, let's say we have 100,000 a year that we want to use, what would be the process to utilize that money?
If you have $100,000 or whatever the amount is in your reserve fund for, just say culvert and other related highway improvements, whatever, you come up with the number and the town board would adopt a resolution authorizing the release of $100,000 for culvert acquisition and or highway improvements. And they would adopt it, and within the body of the resolution, it would state that it is subject to a permissive referendum. And what that means is within 10 days of adoption of the resolution, Vicky has to, one, post it on the town clerk's bulletin board, publish it on your website, and also have it published in the Altamont Enterprise. And then that's good for 30 days. And then if there's no petition filed, then then the money's released to you.
so
That's not the process we've done with our existing reserve funds for experience.
I'm just telling you what the law says.
I'll make you wondering if we're doing it right, that's all.
So next year, we want to add to this.
Add to the reserve fund?
Yes.
Well, that's very easily accomplished. You just have a resolution saying that you want to add X, whatever the number is, to the type reserve fund for highway purposes. And then you just go about the process the way I just described.
So if we have a flood that affects a local flood, that doesn't meet any thresholds for FEMA or something reimbursement. And so we need the 100 grand to open a road back up. We could essentially take the 100 grand out of our general fund and then replenish it after we go through the process of the resolution of permissive referendum and the money's released after that 30 days, right?
It would be better if we follow the procedure I outlined, but if you're confronted with an emergent situation where the road is torn away and there's nothing there, then an argument can be made that you take the money out of the fund, general fund, expend it solely on the repair of the road, and then have the resolution to replenish the A fund from your reserve.
Would it make it cleaner or better if the supervisor filed a declaration to do that, to make it cleaner?
Situation, yeah.
Well, even FEMA funds.
It is, and it's not guaranteed unless we meet a ton of thresholds.
Right, but just as a rule, they have to put the money up before they're reimbursed.
Okay.
Oh, and the other part of my report, we have all the documentation in order for you to sign the bond anticipation renewal note for the water district. That's ready to go. You sign.
We had it under old business for later, but I can sign it right now.
You can sign it later. Just, I want to get it done tonight, that's all.
Oh, for sure. No, I haven't. Thank you. I came prepared.
So I have,
I move we accept the attorney's report.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Highway recycling.
And we're gonna vote on this?
oh,
Oh,
you got that?
Vote on the resolution to approve it for the
type.
highway
Do we have to
reserve.
read the whole thing?
No,
Okay. Go ahead.
but I had it under old business, but we could do it right now.
Why not do it now? It's right in my hand.
Why not?
all right, so this resolution, if I may, Randy.
Sure, of course.
This resolution is the resolution that adopts the type reserve fund for the highway department.
Make the motion that we approve the resolution establishing a highway reserve fund,
For a type
Type.
reserve fund.
type highway reserve fund.
A second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carried. Do we need, Vicky, what do we need?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Should we move on to highway?
I move we accept the attorney's report. Oh,
Good evening, everybody. Been a pretty active winter. We're grateful to have some nice spring thaw last week. The snow all receded very nicely. We had minimal issues. Dirt roads are drying out nicely. Really have held up, had a very good winter for dirt roads. So it's been frozen all winter. We're out filling potholes the last few days, but in general, they're in pretty good conditions. Since October 20th, we've had 73 days where there's been overtime issued. This is how active we've been. It's been a lot of Saturdays and Sundays, so it's been a very expensive year in regards to snow removal. Currently, truck 14 is at Watkins Spring. I expect to get that and some kingpins, but That'll put our fleet back together. Obviously, we're watching world conflict and keeping an eye on fuel prices, and we'll be curious to see what happens with asphalt prices come this summer. So we'll know fairly shortly. Everything continues to run smoothly. We're fully staffed. Just anticipating spring now at this point. So, any questions? You always want me to do the truck now, or you want me to do that later, John? Okay. So in front of you, I provided some documentation in regards to our current balances. In our truck reserve fund, as of January 1st, there's $295,099. The 2026 budget has another $87,550 allotted, bringing our total available funds to $382,679 in the truck reserve fund. And just I put this number here for you as well, but the equipment reserve fund will have $145,000. It's been 4 years since we purchased our last large plow truck. We run 6 large plow trucks. So if we replace 1 large plow truck every 4 years, makes our oldest truck in the fleet 24 years, which I think is a reasonable replacement fee. I've been doing quite a lot of work on quoting a few different trucks and some different body equipment. What I've come up with here is in front of you, we have a Western Star tandem axle dump truck with an Allison transmission in it and a Cummins ISX motor, 500 horsepower. And there's also an International chassis here, which has the International A19 motor in it and only 400 horsepower. There is a $10,000 difference between the chassis. The Western Star chassis is $188,025, and the International chassis is $178,069. Personally, I think there's better value in the Western Star chassis. I'm a little concerned about the International A19 motor. If you know any history on International, they had a motor a few years back called the Max Force. It's a complete nightmare. The Cummins ISX motor is a proven motor. We have it in our other truck here, powerful. There's lots of support to it. I just think it would better serve us. In addition to that, Western Star is offering software programs that they're willing to come in, set up on our computer so we can scan through parts and link the diagnostics of the trucks to the computer, which is a really valuable tool. So there is a $10,000 difference, like I said, between the chassis. I just think the better value is the Western Star. In regards to that, it is all through the Onondaga County bid, so there is no requirement to put this out to bid. We can just piggyback on an existing bid. That would be paired with a Tenco setup, which is basically the identical setup as what we have on our last truck, with a few minor changes. We went to electric over hydraulic controls versus, and mostly, and we went to patrol cable wings, or full hydraulic wings versus cable wings. That package, which is an additional $160,477, which brings the total cost for the Western Star chassis to $348,502, which is an enormous amount of money. Just to give you a reference, the last truck we purchased 4 years ago was $236,000. So huge amount of inflation. But we are in good position financially to purchase one. If we order a truck today, we wouldn't expect delivery for 15 to 18 months at the earliest. If we went through Viking equipment, which I would try to get some quotes there, they're 2 years to 2.5 years. So we're really planning kind of down the road a little bit. So we wouldn't even have this truck for next winter. We'd probably have it for the following winter. So you really.
And I assume that there's no information to support that the truck prices are going to go down, probably only up. So
I don't foresee them going down. And one change from what's happened in the past, currently the truck manufacturers are turning up the chassis very quickly. So the chassis gets delivered to the body company within 3 to 5 months. Well, the truck companies don't want to sit on that. So part of the contract now is that the chassis has to be paid for when it's delivered to the body builder. and the remainder is paid when delivered here. I guess the big holdup now is hydraulics and electrical issues, so they can't get the parts of the hydraulics to put the trucks together. So that's what the supply chain issue is. So it's a big investment, but you know, if you take a look at what our current fleet is, I gave you a list of that too. You know, we range anywhere from, for our large trucks, we have a 2003 International 7600. We have a 2007 Volvo, a 2011 International, a 2014 Western Star, a 2016 Western Star, and a 2022 International. So this would fall in line. My goal would be to purchase a truck every 4 to 5 years to try to keep our fleet in you know, in a reasonable age frame when we get rid of them. So I don't know if there's any questions or thoughts, or if you had a chance to review the specs, but I've gone through them, you know, over and over. I think it's a really nice fit for the town. It's very similar to anything else we've purchased.
I looked at them, and I agree with you. I think clearly the Western Star is a better value.
Yeah.
You too.
And I would certainly favor that.
I think just the engine alone is worth it.
Yeah.
Having an ISX is far superior.
Not to mention, I'm pairing this with an automatic Allison transmission, and if you put a 400 horsepower paired with an Allison transmission, I think we would have issues climbing hills. We really need to have the horsepower power, which there's the horsepower power loss. But I think there's a need for an automatic transmission here. And also when we're hiring, we're getting, you know, there's a lot more, and that's coming in the future.
An automatic transmission is useful in the summertime for spreading
Sure.
materials.
Yeah, on our stuff, if we're doing shoulders or chip sealing on steep terrain, we can kind of walk with a paver or a shoulder machine. So there's, I think it's the appropriate way to
Do we
go.
have automatics in any of the others?
The only truck that's automatic is truck 2. Truck 2 is a complete nightmare. We've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on the motor. It's still not correct. That would go down the road with the purchases.
What is that worth?
I think we'd be lucky if we got $12,000 or $15,000 out of it. It says Max Force motor on the side of it, and nobody wants it. And I've spent over 20,000 in repairs. I know, Randy, you've
It's
spent,
more than
Yeah.
easily, like twice that.
and we get it back. We've had it to International, we've had it to other mechanics. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, and if you modify it, you can go to prison.
It has a lot to do with
Seriously.
the emissions DPF system, and the DPF filter plugs up, and then we have EGR cooler problems, and it's a nightmare.
Send it down the road.
So that problem needs to go down the road. And in addition to that, old truck 8 out there, there's really nothing wrong with it, but that it's a 97 and wore out, and we would, just to keep the fleet streamlined, I don't see wouldn't see a need for that. We could send that down the road. Current truck 17 would become the spare truck. It's in pretty good shape, so we would have a spare vehicle. So
What's
Make a
been,
motion.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On your headings here, you have
Yes.
truck and equipment reserve.
Yes.
Do you know if reserve funds were set up the way we're setting
that's
this
a
one?
very good question. I don't know. They were set up prior to me. And I don't know how they were set up, but they are titled as truck reserve fund and equipment reserve fund. And we can look into that information.
Yeah, can you look at past resolutions about this?
I can tell you we've used funds from there to purchase trucks before, so that's what we've done.
I
Yeah.
just want to make sure we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Five
Yeah.
trucks, one medium.
All right. If you could scope that out, that'd be great. Thanks. I'm good.
I make a motion that we accept the quote for the Western Star for $188,025, and additionally the quote from Tenco for the body and plow for $160,477.
Second that.
all in favor? All right, so we're gonna move forward with that.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Good
checks.
Did you make a motion to accept the highway?
I'll make a motion to accept the highway report.
The second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, town clerk.
Okay, for February, everybody has the numbers for February. Taxes reports are winding down and collected about 70% of the total tax warrant by the end of January, which kind of trickles down into the first week, 10 days of February. So, so right now, our taxes are very slow, comparatively speaking, and Mary from Sustainable Growth is going to be here.
She's right behind you.
Hi, Mary is here. She will be speaking on the Douglas grant later on in the meeting.
It's up, Vic?
I make a motion that we accept the clerk's report.
The second.
All in favor? Aye. Code enforcement. Let me see if he's got it.
Just read his report, so.
What'd you say, Brian?
You can just read his report. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Just two residential repairs and one accessory building.
This is residential repairs and a permit 700. It sounds like no. What is the repair? Should I get Tim? We'll just move on.
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah.
There's gotta be some big residential repairs. Like a new house.
Randy, where is Trinity going?
Right in the Hamlin, Runcible, that little loop down there by the fisherman, the sewer treatment plant.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm resting.
Sorry to hold you up, guys. Good evening.
Good evening.
So the department took in $1,647. Vicky probably already told you that we had $1,097 in permits. And John, you had a question on Trinity Lane.
On what?
You had a question on one of the permits?
Yeah, the one on Trinity Lane.
All right, so the project that they're doing went through planning board approval for historical review. They're doing windows that are facing town roads. I guess it's 2 years now that they got that review. So their permit came in and it really encompasses the whole interior of the house. Probably 60% of the square footage of the house. So that fee is based on that square foot. That's the impact.
Oh,
Our fee is 30 cents per square foot of space. So that's where that came from.
okay.
Seems like a lot of money.
Not if you
It's
have
a $300,000 project.
it. Not if you have it.
All right, then.
And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you accept the building inspector code enforcement report?
And second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carried. The assessors, assessor. For the month of February, this is from Pete Hoteling, 10 transfers, 6 for. We have been finishing up the last of the entering the data 2026. We will be going out to review the open building permits in March and April. And that's Peter Hotel's report. I make a motion that we accept his report.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carried. Jerry Wallace sent me the report for the water sewer. They had their meeting March 5th. Water meter funding research, rate study, water sewer financial management, nothing on the sewer. He's just mentioning to communicate with the water district. The email is rvillewatersewer@gmail.com. Frozen pipes and curb stop work continues. Tight and Bond project kickoff meeting to be scheduled for late March. I'm hoping that they'll, well, not hoping, but I'll ask them, not require, to come here and do that for us. Like I said earlier, they received the contract. The bond anticipation note was approved at the last town board meeting. I'm not quite sure that's true. The EPA administrative order, the water tank mixer order, has been delivered. Next step, the town to participate in the DWSRF project kickoff meeting. Committee to onboard new members with walking tour in spring, which I'm going to be there. I'd like to know myself. The committee in the town to install mixer and hatch in spring. We talked about this. They're gonna do a curb stop survey and get a quote on that so that we could see how much it's gonna cost and who's going to do it. And they're participating in the rate study. And that is their report. I'll make a motion to accept the water sewer committee report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The library, Anne Marie. Hello.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Anne Marie Martinez. I'm the board treasurer for the library. I'm going to talk about a few different topics tonight. First of all, we've had a few changes on the board and we're anticipating some changes. So I just want people to be aware of that. So if there are candidates that you know of that you think would be great for the library board, I'll kind of give you a view of what's happening. So I've been on the board for 6 years. I'm the treasurer and my term is up. We have mandatory 3-year terms and you can only do it for 2 years. We think we have identified a replacement candidate and we're hoping that I'll transition the work through the summer, and in September when we have our annual meeting, the new treasurer will pick that up. The other person that's leaving, and it's going to be a big gap for us, is our vice president, Jerry Finnan. He started when I did, and he has just been instrumental in keeping our library building in good shape. We've gone after library grants, construction grants. It has enabled us to put a new roof on the building, to put a new back deck on, to put a roof over that deck. And Jerry has just been really instrumental in that. So anyone that has a background in building or whatever and wants to join the board, that's going to be a pretty big gap to fill.
Why is Jerry leaving?
He's been there for 6 years also.
Oh.
So
now-
Jerry and I started at the same time. We've
So-
both done two 3-year terms, and that's the limit. So
Maybe we should change that law.
anyway, Robert Pondicio, who you probably all know from the Medusa Firehouse, he had been our president up till last year. He also had served his term limits, and we have a new president, Susanna Friedman, and she's just hit the ground running. We're really, really happy with her. She had been on the board and assumed the president role in September, and she's working right now on the strategic plan. So typically we do a strategic plan every 3 to 5 years, and we look out 3 to 5 years with what are the things that we want to focus on in the future. So the last time we did the strategic plan, I was part of it, and we talked about the branch. We talked about really getting programming out for the community. And so this year as they're doing it, Susanna and Patrick and a few other people on the committee are actually doing Zoom calls with the community and doing surveys to see what the community would like to have, the library focus on. And actually, Susanna is on a call as we speak tonight, doing one of those calls. So if you have thoughts or ideas, the board is very open to hearing feedback and putting that into our strategic plan. The Rensselaerville insurance comparison. So I submitted our insurance information, and we're really, really interested in seeing what comes out of that. About 3 years ago, I had kind of organized going out to bid to take a look at our insurance, and we ended up changing insurance and saving quite a bit of money. So I think it's a really good idea to see if we can pool the different nonprofits across the town and see what we can do as far as optimizing our insurance bill. So we're all in. And then two other things. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a view of some of the programs we've had recently and some that we have coming up. My husband, who's here, Jose, we went to a Puerto Rican cooking program that was held at the branch, and it was phenomenal. There were about over 25 people there. Robert Lugo, who lives in Oak Hill, was there with his wife, Janice. He taught us all about Puerto Rican cooking. He had food for us to eat at the end, and it was just a really, really great program. So Patrick's been doing a great job with Vivian Galloway, kind of putting these programs in place. There's a weekly knitting group that gets together that I've participated in. There's also games that are held at the branch every other week. Children's programs. We have author visits coming. We had someone come on a stretching exercise program. So really, I think a wide variety of programs and things that could be interesting for everyone across the community. So the two that we have coming up now, one is Trout Tales, and that's going to be done by John and Nancy LaRocca. So that's a brochure. And then Mary Ann Ronconi recently wrote a book, and she's going to do an author session in April on that. So.
And John also donated some fly fishing rods and things, which are going to be stored at the branch.
Right.
Which, related to that.
I talked to John LaRocca the other day, and so his fly fishing gear, the books, they have a different section at the Medusa branch in the library, and he's donating that. And I believe he said that it was going to be announced in April.
Yeah, April 1st is, I think, when that program is going to be held, and that's going to be.
So that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. And then my last item is, I just wanted everyone to be aware, the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, we have our annual cocktail party fundraiser. And we'll be having it again. And I think it's just a really wonderful community event. there's good food, there's good socialization with people from the community, and there's some entertainment, and Joe Frazino comes and makes fancy drinks for everyone. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Amy. Good report.
Make a motion to accept the library report.
I'll second it. All in favor? Motion carried. Under old business, we already authorized the purchase of the tandem axle plow truck. The resolution establishing the highway reserve fund. Done. This, I want to get, this is instead of ban, that was the bond anticipation note, now it's a bond anticipation renewal note.
Okay.
So Bill, my understanding is that, the principal is $80,000.
Correct.
We have to make this $3,160 interest payment.
Correct.
Okay. That's what I've been trying to get from the bank. So now, Bill reviewed this. All I have to do is sign this. We're not going to a bank or anything. right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's good to go.
Hmm?
It's good to go.
It's good to go. So explain this though, Bill. This,
Can I see this?
this was the $80,000 that we got a bond for the water district to pay the town back. But now going forward, my question is that eventually it's gonna be turned over into a much larger note.
Oh, yes, it certainly is. So what I have in front of me is the bond anticipation renewal note. And the language of the renewal note here states that last February 13th of 2025, we authorized the issuance of $80,000 in bonds to pay for planning improvements for the town of the Rensselaerville Water District. And that has been accruing interest and has accrued, and the interest is that $3,160 interest payment. And this certification is authorizing the renewal of the bond anticipation note in the amount of $80,000. It's going to be dated March 20, 2026. And you're going to pay interest in the amount of 3.75%. And it will be maturing on March 19th, 2027. And it's a renewal note. And that's all you have to do. You have to sign it here. Now, just to give you a background on what this is about. The water district is going through, you heard it from John earlier, Tig and Bond is reviewing the water system. They're going to look for sources of water, review the water tank and the pump house, and you're going to be making improvements to your water district. And they're going to come up with a number. And whatever that number is, it's going to be then put in a map plan and report to set the rates for the residents of the water district. And there's going to be a section 202B public hearing on it, which sets forth what the cost is going to be and what the residents are going to have to pay in terms of capital and operation and maintenance expenses throughout the operation and use of the system. Now, during the interim, I presume that there's going to be a search undertaken for grant money. Now, the environmental Facilities Corporation with the state of New York issues a lot of grants. And I presume that somebody from the Water Committee or the engineer that does the map plan and report is going to do that. Because the grants will reduce the amount of the capital that will need to be repaid. That's a mouthful.
So,
I
so
know.
the $3 million grant that we already received, we were approved for.
Right.
Okay,
So,
I need
but still,
to,
that's gonna be Titan Bond is gonna put in for that reimbursement.
somebody has to.
Yeah, okay.
When was the grant awarded?
A year ago?
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
September.
And who awarded the grant? What agency?
It got on the listing
It was in
for,
New York State.
they were given a certain amount of grant funding and then a certain amount of, whatever the maximum amount was for 0% interest.
Yeah, 0% interest loan.
And it's been awarded?
But we didn't receive, I'll give you the paperwork.
Okay, that'd be
You do-
nice.
You do your homework on
Okay. Okay, so that's what this is all about.
it. Okay.
So you need to sign this.
You guys all
I'll
right
make a
with me
motion.
signing
I'll
it?
make a motion, we sign the bond anticipation renewal note for the.
No second.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye, motion carried. And John is signed.
How many years can we do that?
You can, for as long as it takes.
Just keep paying the interest?
Yeah, but eventually, when this project comes to fruition, it needs to be,
You have to start paying the principal.
that's right. This needs to be.
Because it might be a few years.
Well,
Well, it can't because the grant has a time limit on it.
The 3 million, yeah.
Yeah, so it can't be any longer than
are you a notary?
And that time limit is not long, it's coming up.
that. 2 years, I think, from, well, it's less than 2 years.
Term of office expires.
Yours, December 31st, 28.
Tw 28. You have to notarize that. Just a few more here, John. Where's the first one you signed?
Okay.
Right there. Wait a minute. The next item you have to sign or document is the arbitrage certificate. I'm not going to take the money and gamble with it. Try to make, get a better return. This is tax exempt, the bond, there's no tax associated with this. Supervisor. And this is the internal revenue form you need to sign. And here is the bond.
Okay.
notarize the one document and then you have to send it back and to me. Okay. We're all
Okay.
I'm gonna give this to her, to Vicky, okay?
The proposal from the RFQ for the records grant. Mary, you want to talk on that, please?
Yeah. We, is your okay if I say this? We got 5 bids in, 5 proposals in, which was good. And they varied in price. And what we did was, John, Vicky, and I met to review those proposals. And kind of, we looked at them in terms of price, their approach, their experience, qualifications, their work plan. I'll quickly run through the cost of each of them, just so you can see. We had one come in, Access. This firm came in at $32,000. Central Control came in at $72,000. A company called JLC came in at $49,000. Alicia Jetner came in at $40,500, and James Tamaro came in at $9,500. But there was a difference between these, obviously, the price difference. We, the Access, Control, JLC, and Jetner, they were all similar in their approach. They come, they do the whole thing. They do the inventory, and then they, they're going to do the whole process. The only thing is they kind of, they don't differentiate between kind of the high level records management specialist and then the inventory stuff, which is, going through the files. There's no price difference there. It's all one price. James Tamaro, his proposal is a lot less. It's only $9,500. He doesn't do the inventory. So what we have to do there is also hire an inventory clerk. But the benefit of that is we hire someone local, or use someone who already works for the town, but you hire someone local and then you keep that knowledge locally, which is nice, because then next year if you have more you need to do, you can pull that person in, that knowledge stays here, and that's important. So we reviewed all of them, and this grant's a little different because what we do here is you have to kind of pick the consultant you're using before you apply. Usually you do that after. So we, if we were going to go with James Tamaro, we'd also have to identify that inventory clerk. And we discussed 2 people that we thought would be good candidates for that. So after that meeting, we kind of came to the recommendation that the James Tamaro's proposal with hiring an inventory clerk, and we're going to approach Claire Marshall. And if she wasn't interested, we have Jessica Ambrosio, who's already doing this project in Greenville. So between them, we have 2 people that would be well qualified to do it.
So if we go with tomorrow, it would cost us about $25,000. 10,000, roughly, 9,500 for him, and then the clerk, and then Mary.
So that would, and it would cost the town, this would all be grant funded. There's no match, so it would all be covered by the grant funding. And it keeps us competitive because it creates a more competitive application because they like to see that you're keeping that knowledge locally, so you have somebody who can help keep up with the records. Like I said, if they have to come back next year, or when we move on to other phases, you have that person here. So.
And being it's under $25,000, can you explain that?
Oh yeah, we don't have to do the, it doesn't trigger the MWBE requirements, which are the minority and women-owned business. So we don't have to go through the process of explaining why we didn't choose an MWBE firm. But I think it also, aside from that, keeping it under 25,000, you can see some people come in. It's more competitive because we're finding we're doing it like the most cost-effective way, and this application's become more competitive over the years. But I think the town has a good a good reason for it, if anyone's been up to the storage upstairs or around. So I think it's a good plan, and I think it's the most competitive one for submitting the grant for apply.
And I only say that for the WMP because I've been involved in numerous grants with that requirement. And you always end up paying double what you would have done for if you didn't have that. It has nothing to do with the women-owned business or minority-owned business. It just, every single one, I've never done one where we haven't paid more than twice what we could have if we'd have just got a regular vendor to do it. Right down to food, like to provide food for a conference, we paid about 110% more to provide the food because we had to do it through a WMP business. Just, it's not, it doesn't work the way they think they want it.
Yeah.
And they're also, there's not a lot of people that do this records work, and
So that'd be even worse, try to find somebody to do it.
so and then, like I said, a few people were priced out. The price was just was a lot higher. And the level of, we really need somebody who's gonna focus on reorganizing the records. And again, having somebody, whether it's Claire or Jessica, do that makes a lot more sense to have somebody who's here and can take the time. It isn't, knows the office more and what's the departments.
And Tamara has been here, correct?
Yeah, and he's incredibly experienced, really good value for money, and he's also doing the Greenbelt project as well. And he does really good. Like I said, he's been involved in records for a long time, and he really knows his stuff.
So we just need a motion to accept Tamara's.
Proposal.
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal from Tamara for the records management grant.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we don't need motion to that. Is Claire gonna do this for us?
She's kind of,
Was in there. Let's try to talk to Tucker. As she said,
Claire is interested, but she hasn't committed 100% yet.
All right. On the new business, authorization to renew liability auto insurance with Marshall and Sterling. So I'm not quite sure. It went up about 5%. The insurance. Okay. Went up about 5%. But I told these people, it renews today. And she came and asked me to sign it Tuesday. And I refused, thank you. You know, I said, you have to change. I said, that's not acceptable to me, you know?
Yeah, how can you review it or compare?
Huh?
There's no review or comparison.
No, and you know, basically I said, she's gonna do a binder today or tomorrow. I said, next year, you know, I'm not gonna accept it. So if I don't hear from you 30 days before, I think we just need to stop shopping someplace else. You know, the previous guy that was there tried that on me. You know, he'd bring them donuts and then at the last minute, he'd bring the insurance policy. Keep your donuts. I need the policy before. So anyway, it went from $44,862 to $47,400. It increased by $25.50. Honestly, it's still not a bad. It's still not a bad number for all the buildings that we're insuring, all the vehicles, the trucks, the inland marine. So I'm saying, I have no choice right now. I have to accept this, but I feel like,
You're being used.
yeah.
Well, you made it clear that if you won't do it next year, that's all you can do, right? At this
Right.
point in time.
Right, I mean, but we can still get screwed if they do it next year, so is there a way we could set a reminder in like our Outlook calendar or something, so that
Yeah,
next year in February, we send them a thing like we need the binder, so we can decide whether we're gonna shop or not? Maybe.
and and it's through NYMER, so that's good. But, I don't like the way they do business. And she said she's a new rep, which she's knowledgeable. But yeah, next year, we'll definitely,
I'm gonna guess they probably don't
huh?
wanna give you I'm gonna guess they probably don't wanna give you a whole lot of time to shop around, right? So,
Exactly.
well, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would be shocked if they do that. I would just say, like, it's gotta be, our renewal has to be in 30 days ahead of time.
Well, I was gonna talk to Carolyn, I think in February, I'm gonna start reaching out.
Yeah.
To different insurance companies,
Sure.
and just see, hey, this is what we got, what can you do for
We
us?
should do that like every other year anyway.
I mean, we have a total listing of everything, so it should be easy to
Yeah,
compare.
absolutely. But she knows I wasn't happy about that. So anyway,
You know, how many years you're retired?
we need a motion to let me renew this insurance.
I make a motion, we authorize the supervisor to renew the liability, all the insurance from Marshall and Sterling.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, so that's another headache out of the way. Any audience comments?
I got one quick one while Bill's here. We asked a long time ago, if the department head is not here to give us a report in writing, is there any reason that we have to read the report in the meeting if the report's gonna be included in the minutes?
No, just accept it.
Just accept the report that's written and it's gonna be included in the minutes. You don't have to go down through and read the whole report.
For which,
If a department head's not here to stand up there like the library did, or Tim when he was late, or Jason spent time, if they're just gonna give a written report, then it should just be put into the minutes and
and we don't have to read.
we don't have to read it.
Accept, make a motion to accept.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to accept the report is written, it'll be included in the minutes.
It's in the minutes, right.
That way we save a little bit more time, gives John more time to sign his name 27 times in a bond renewal note. And then we can, just make it more, I'm just trying to think of ways we can make it more efficient to get the meeting
But,
started.
The minutes are a summary, they're not a verbatim report.
Yeah.
So
But
No,
if we,
but the min,
It's
the
additional
report,
work for the clerk to put the report in.
you put the reports in,
They
don't
do
you?
anyway.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I knew she did that. I won't make any more work for
Right.
anybody. That's all I got. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
The grand finale.